Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. So today's video is all about the new Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes. This is my first go with the brand. I almost picked up their other palette a while back, but I ended up passing on it. The color story, it was just a little more pink for me. But this one, the second I saw it, I knew it was gonna be mine. These are my colors. I mean, look at all the greens, the fun duochrome shimmers. This is beautiful. Another shocker, this is only $25 US, which is insane. There is a shipping cost. This is coming from the UK. So I also picked up a set of their brushes. So like the emerald brushes. So they have like liquidy and green glittery stuff in them. So I think I'll use these today as I dive into their palette. This is beautiful. The packaging is really pretty. Color story, it really called to me. I feel like I need to start with the greens today. I don't know, but like there's like this purpley shimmer. This is Ether, the shade Opal. This is Serenity right here. Wanderer. Look at that fun green. So, okay, I'll go ahead and swatch those. So Opal, this is Ether, Serenity, and Wanderer. One dip swatches. Those are super beautiful. So I think I'll work with the green mattes and then I'll go from there and figure out which shimmers I want to dip into today. So I'm all primed up and ready, so I'm ready to dive in. I'm gonna start with this bright green Sorbet, and I'm gonna grab the O2 brush. I don't know if the numbers and names mean anything, but it picks up a lot of pigment. And I'm gonna start building this up in the front. A really nice mirror in this palette too. So it's a really fun kind of acid green shade. It's laying down super, super easy. I feel like I look really rough today. I think I'm gonna stop there with that first shade. I'm gonna start to build up the darker green. This is Lagoon. I'm gonna go in with the same brush and just kind of take that right at the bottom part of that first shade and then out to the outer corner. Blending into the first shade really easily. This is a really pretty tone of green. It's gonna be a bright look for a Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and as of today, I have 7 more student days left, 8 more work days until summer vacation. I am a teacher. Summers off are a necessity. I love my job, but holy cow, can it be a lot, especially these last couple years. All right, I mean, that laid down super quick and easy. This feels like kind of a lemon lime look. I'm gonna grab a different brush. This is a BL01, and I'm gonna go into the shade Mystical, which is this really deep shade. So it looks like pretty much a black. Actually, no, I'm not gonna go into that. I'm gonna go into the shade Forest right here. So just a really nice deep, deep green. And I'm gonna pop that out here just for the depth. I really like there's so many deep mattes in this palette, like deep colorful mattes. You have kind of a black, there's a super deep navy, deep green that I just used, this forest shade. River is a nice deep blue, like some kind of more unique tones of deep mattes. So here's that shade. I really like a good deep matte in my outer corner. I just feel like that flatters my eye shape the best. I'm gonna kind of drag this in a little bit. These are really pretty tones of green. I don't think I've done a look. I do a lot of green looks, but nothing quite like this. All right, I'll go make the other eye match. All right, I'm gonna grab the super fluffy brush, which is an S02, and I'm gonna dip back into that first green Sorbet and just really use it to buff out the edges. So there's really nothing subtle about these shadows. These are bright and pigmented, which is great. So if you're not someone who's used a lot of color, just take your time building things up because the pigment stays. Like, I'm blending things out and the pigment is staying strong, which is great. That's what you want when you have pigmented shadows. But just a word of warning for someone who may not do a lot of bright and bold. There's not much subtle about these, which is fun and beautiful. All right, wow, bright and bold. I don't think I was anticipating like this level of bold pigment. I feel like I barely had to build them up. They blended together beautifully. Like, there's no harsh lines between the shadows, and I've used 3 shades and you can distinctly see all 3. You can see the bright green, you can see that medium green, you can see the deep shade Forest. So they're distinct, but they blended beautifully together. And for doing a bunch of really rich, bold shades, I feel like that went really fast. I'm gonna cut the crease today, so I'm gonna go in with the Juvia's Place Concealer, probably do this off camera because no one needs to watch it, and I'll be back. All right, so I went ahead and cut the crease, and I'm ready to go in with some shimmers. So I'm debating if I wanna go like purple, but that might be a little much. I feel like the opal shade would go really well with this look. For shimmers, essentially I have, let's see, Serenity, Wanderer, and Odyssey are the three that I'm between. So I think I'm gonna start with Serenity and just tap that on the outer part of the lid a little bit. So I'm gonna grab that on a finger, and I'm just gonna go right here with that shade. A really pretty shimmery blue. Just kind of keep it concentrated to there. I'm gonna go to the other side, make it match. And then I think I am gonna take the shade Ether, which is this purple, and I'm just gonna tap that in. Now this is kind of a strange look. A lot of colors that maybe don't go together, but I really wanna use that shade. I'm gonna blend it right into the blue. I'm starting with my finger. I'm gonna grab a brush eventually to just kind of even that out. Oh, that shade is so pretty. So yeah, purples and blues and greens. All right, these shimmers are laying down fine with a finger. I really like the purple. Again, not sure how much it goes with this look today, but it's interesting. I'm gonna go over top of the shimmers with the shade Opal, and I'm gonna grab a flat brush, and I'm just gonna start building Opal over the whole thing and kind of see how that works out for me. So you probably can't tell on camera, but it's giving like a green overlay to that, which kind of settles down that purple. Oh, that's pretty. So I don't know if you can tell the difference. This one I've put Opal on over, this one I have not. In person you can tell. On camera, I don't know. I'm gonna follow the line of that cut crease then. So I feel like Opal on its own would have been not quite enough. Like, it's not a super pigmented shade, it's very much like an iridescent topper, and it's really pretty and unique. So I feel like I can still see like the purple underneath, but now it just is a little more cohesive to the look. There's that. This is bold. Colorful and bold. All right, so I think I'm done with the lids. I'm going to go off camera and do all of my face stuff, so skincare, foundation, blush, bronzer, all that, and I'll be back to finish up with the eyeshadow. All right, I'm back. I have all of my face products on. I dipped back into an old favorite foundation, which is from Uoma. This is the Say What foundation. I have it in, I believe, shade 1, and I love it. I'm ready to dip back into eyeshadows. I'm gonna start with the shade Forest right here, which was that deepest shade that I used, and I'm gonna start to just build that up on the lower lash line. I don't know what I'm gonna wear today that will match this look. I'm definitely someone that does my makeup first and then chooses my outfit later. Sometimes it matches, sometimes it doesn't, and that's fine too. All right, so there's that first shade, and then I'm gonna go into that like acid green sorbet, and I'm gonna buff that out. I would say so far I'm just super impressed with how the mattes blend into each other. Again, this is not a brand that I've tried before, so you just don't know how it's gonna work out. And I am more of like a matte snob. I prefer like a palette full of good colorful mattes. I can always pull in shimmers from some of my fun indie shimmers, but I love like good colorful mattes, and those are blending super easily. In the waterline, I'm gonna grab a ColourPop liner. This is called Fast Lane, so it's kind of a really deep teal, green, blue. Pop that in and I'll be right back. For the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go in with Opal. So again, that really pretty iridescent shade right here. It shifts kind of greeny, which is perfect for this look. So I'm gonna pick a little bit up with a brush and just pop it in there. Love that shade. So it's just kind of like a fun glowy green on its own. So I hope it shows up on camera as fun as it looks in person. All right, what do we think so far? I think I'm done with the shadows. It's definitely like big and bold, but I'm definitely enjoying this. So I think I'm done with the eyeshadow. All I have left to do is some eyeliner and mascara, and I'll come back to find a lip and finish up. All right, I'm back with the first look finished. Don't know if I said this at the beginning. I'm definitely doing more than one look in this video. I don't know if I'm gonna do 2 or 3. Today's Wednesday. I probably won't have time to edit until the weekend anyway, so I might as well do a look Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm really loving it so far. The mattes blended out beautifully. The shimmers are nice. So for the look today for mattes, I dipped here, here. And then for the shimmers, I used this shade, and then this shade. So I feel like I fit quite a bit into one look for today. Very like green but purpley blue look. So tried to stay away from the monochromatic look today. I kind of wish I had also dipped into like the mint green. I feel like this look would have looked pretty with the mint in place of like the acid green too. Maybe just a little more soft and springy than this, but I really like this. I'm definitely going to have to do like a purpley look, maybe a more neutral look, because there are some neutral options in here. There's also some beautiful blues. There are some more like grungy green tones as well. There's just so much that I want to dip into in this palette. So this is just my first look. I'm not going to give my final thoughts until I've done 3 looks, but I mean, so far I'm impressed, especially like I said with the mattes. If I can find good colorful mattes that blend out and blend together well, I'm pretty happy. So here's the first look, and here comes look number 2. All right, day 2. I don't even know what I want to do. I did throw it out to Instagram just asking for some color combinations to use. Let's pull up some of those suggestions. Someone suggested to use just the blues. Someone said purple and gold, orange and teal. Maybe I'll do like a purpley gold look today. That sounds kind of fun. Yesterday I did greens and then kind of the purpley blue lid. So yeah, let's do purple mattes. Maybe this kind of goldy shimmer today. That sounds fun. So while this video will only have 3 looks, I guarantee I will be using this more than just these 3 times. So if you're interested in seeing other looks with this palette, just check out my Instagram. It's Kate Joseph Glam, and I'm sure you'll see plenty of looks with this. So I'm already all primed and ready. Brows are filled in, and I think for the start, I have 2 lighter purples. I'm gonna start with this one, Awake. I just like the tone. It's more of like a bluey periwinkle purple. So let's start with that shade Awake. And I'm gonna start to build that up right in front and into the crease. That's my kind of purple tone. I'm not a huge purple person. I don't love purple and how it looks on me, but I can do like the bluey purples. So I'm really gonna build that up. Oh, it's really easy to build up. I feel like I'm barely touching it, and lots of pigment. I feel like whenever I do videos trying out new products that I end up being impressed with everything and loving everything. And the reason for that is that I'm not buying a lot of things, and I don't buy things just to test them. Like, I don't have that kind of money or channel where I'm just testing everything that's coming out. I also don't want to bring things in to my makeup collection that like I'm unsure of if I'm going to like it, unless it's something I'm like super interested in color story wise. So yeah, most things I end up buying, I end up liking because I am really thoughtful about the things that I'm bringing in. All right, so that shade is laid down. That was super quick and easy. I'm gonna drop into the lightest purple, which is Make a Wish, and I'm gonna buff out that first shade. Just gonna take that on the brush, tap it off, and then go to the edges and just really buff that out. I don't know how much of that will actually end up showing, and that's fine. I did take this shade a little higher than I normally take my mattes. I feel like I usually stop slightly above my crease, but that's okay. We're gonna go a little bigger today. All right, so I don't think I'm gonna dip into the darkest purple, which is Pixie. It's not really my shade of purple, so I think what I'll do is go into the navy, which is Mood right here. Again, I do like that there's a lot of options for dark mattes. I'm gonna dip in. I'm gonna just build this up really slowly, because after yesterday and seeing how pigmented these dark mattes are, just want to take your time. And I'm gonna drag that into the crease, just slightly above it. Maybe this will end up being more blue and gold. I wish I had the ambition to do like a 10 look video. I know Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner will do that, where she'll do 1 look on each eye and do like 10 looks. I don't know that I'd be able to find the time to do that, and my eyes would get really irritated. Because when I film myself doing makeup, if it's not on a weekend, it means I'm getting ready for work, which is the case today. So I just kind of double up on my time. I'm getting ready anyways, I might as well film it. All right, just like the shadows yesterday, these are blending together beautifully. Like, it just looks airbrushed together, which is what I want out of mattes, especially when you have like rich, deep, colorful mattes. Sometimes you can have trouble blending them together. They get patchy, or when you blend, the pigment goes away, but this is exactly what I would hope out of rich, colorful mattes. It definitely does look more blue than purple. I'm gonna dip back into that first shade, Awake, and just make sure that I have that in the front. So I'm just kind of building it back up right here, because now you can see built back up and not. So we lost quite a bit of that when I was blending it out. I mean, I don't know if the camera shows the difference, but. All right, so there's those mattes. I feel like that was so quick and easy. And like you can see the gradient of blues. So I used 3 shades. I used the periwinkle, the light purple, and then the navy. You can't really see the light purple. It was more just used to blend out that first shade, but it looks like kind of a perfect ombre, which I love. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the crease. So I'm gonna go off camera with the Juvia's Place concealer and do that. All right, so I went ahead and cut the crease. It's not the neatest looking, but that's okay. I'm gonna cover it up with some shimmers. So I'm torn because I feel like with this look, like Serenity and Ether would go really well, but I used both of those yesterday. There's also this dark shimmer Twilight. It's pretty, but I don't love how it swatches. I feel like it loses kind of its shimmery luster. So I think I'm gonna focus on the gold today, which is Odyssey, and that's a really pretty gold. So let's start with that, and then I might, like on the outer part, put a little bit of a blue, but we'll see. I'm just gonna start with a finger. Oh, that's a pretty, pretty shimmer. Oh, it keeps all of its sparkle. We'll start with that and then add other things to it if I want to. Like that was one finger swipe. Okay, well maybe I'll take Wanderer, which is this kind of green gold down here, and I'm gonna tap that on the outer part. That's another really pretty, like deep green gold. So I'm gonna tap that out here. So then I don't know how well you can see on camera, but there's a nice gradient. Those kind of tapped together really easily. Really beautiful. I'll do the same to the other side. And I'm gonna dip back into the dark blue, that navy mood, and I'm gonna just kind of blend it all together on the outer corner. So blend the navy into that kind of green gold shimmer. All right, this is not really what I was going for with this look today. I was picturing more like purple gold, but this'll do. Maybe I want to tap. So the purple shade Ether is kind of an iridescent purple, like it's not super, super pigmented. I might try to layer that over the whole thing and see what happens. So wish me luck, just to bring back a little purple to it. I don't know if I like the gold a lot, but I don't know if it's kind of a harsh difference between the gold and the blue. So maybe this can just soften it up a little bit. Oh, I like that. So I don't know if on camera you can see a difference. This is with the purple on top. This is without. So it just kind of softens that up a little bit. I think that's a little more what I am going for. So now the question will be for the lower lash line, do I just continue this look, or do I do like a neutral and pull in that coral? Or do I save the coral for a look tomorrow? I'm all done with like parent meetings and stuff for the year, so like I don't really care how big and bold I go. I mean, yesterday's look, I had a parent meeting, nobody cares. And if they do, they don't say anything. So I think I'm gonna stop here on the lid. I'm gonna go off camera and do all of my face products, and I will be back to finish up with the eyeshadows. All right, I'm back. I have all my face products on, going in with I think all the same stuff as yesterday. I feel like I've talked it up enough, but the Moira Love Heat Cream blushes, this is shade 1. I'm obsessed. I feel like it gives me like the perfect glowy cheek without being like a shimmery blush option, and it stays all day, which sometimes I know with like a cream blush it doesn't, but they're amazing. I think they're on sale for like $7 right now. So before I go into shadow on the lower lash line, I'm gonna just go in with a Waterline Urban Decay pencil and pop it in. This is just black. I'm gonna hop into the navy blue, the shade Mood, and I'm just gonna start to build that up on the lower lash line. Then I'm gonna dip into the Periwinkle shade Awake and buff that out. My eye is watering and it's really annoying. Somehow it's not sticking though. Usually things stick when my eye is watering, so I'll take it. I was going for purple and gold, and I'm feeling like now it's like bluey purple. It's all good. I think for the inner corner, I'm gonna dip into my Divina shadows and grab the shade Nokomis, which is this like super iridescent bluey shade. I'm gonna pop that in. So this is from their Halo Moon collection, and all of the shades, but especially this shade. It's less of a shimmery shade and more of like a glowy shade, but I feel like it just will go with this look. All right, so I think I'm done with shadow, so I'm gonna go off camera and do some eyeliner and mascara, and I will be back with the final look. All right, I'm back with the final look. What do we think? Definitely more blue than I was planning today. For lips, I went in with just a brown liner from ColourPop, and then I topped it with this Milani lipstick in the shade 410. These are really nice, like soft matte lipsticks. I don't do brown lips a lot, but I feel like it works with this look. I'm probably will wipe off the lipstick before I go to work. For the look, I like it. So for today's look for mattes, I went in here and here and here. And then for shimmers, I used the gold and then the soft purple and a little bit of this kind of green gold on the outside. So here's look number 2. I think I might try to go a little more neutral for look 3 tomorrow. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure, but that's kind of where my mind is leaning. Because you do have like brown here, a super deep, like I think it's pretty much black, but maybe like a super, super deep blackish brown, and then this coral. So I feel like I might stick somewhere around there. I've used all the shimmers so far except for this dark one. I don't do a lot of dark shimmers though. I prefer shimmers as a way to kind of brighten up a look. Then I have like these greens that I haven't used, like the mint and kind of that grungy green, and then like another blue and teal. There's so much left to use. So we'll see what direction I take it tomorrow. I feel like these last 2 looks were really colorful, so it might be time for something a little more basic. We'll see. So here's look number 2, and next up is look 3. All right, I'm back ready to do a third look with the Serenity palette. Really enjoying this so far. Yesterday's look was a little more blue and bold than intended. I think for today, I want to go a little more neutral. So you have this kind of medium toned brown, a really pretty corally shade, a deep, I mean, to my eye, it looks like a super rich, deep brown, not quite a black. So I might kind of go that direction today. As for the lid, I don't know. Maybe I'll do kind of a halo eye look. Since the last 2 days, I've done kind of the same shape. So I'm gonna dip into the coral, which is the shade Oasis. I typically like to start with my lighter shades and then build. So I'm gonna start to plop this. Oh, that's really pretty. Super pigmented. I'm gonna pop this on the outer part and then again on the inner part of the eye. And then I'm gonna kind of connect them up top. So this will kind of be my halo eye matte. And I've said this in many other videos. I'm not a makeup artist, so my technique may not make sense, but it works for me. I'm a teacher, at least for the next week. We have school today and then next week through Thursday, so 5 more student days as of today. And then it's summer vacation, pack up my classroom Friday, and done for the summer. And I cannot express how ready I am. These last couple years have been really hard. I'm gonna go in on the same brush and take that medium brown, which is the shade Earth, and start to pop that in both of those spots. All right, so there we have the medium brown laid down as opposed to just the coral. And I'm leaving a little blank space in the middle of the eye there, and that's where we'll pop on some shimmers. I also don't have much battery power left, so we'll see how quickly I can do this look today without having to plug her in. All right, I like that tone of brown. It's a really neutral brown. A lot of times browns are a little too warm leaning for me, which is just not my preference. I prefer a pretty like neutral brown or even a more cool tone brown. I'm gonna take the smaller brush with the darkest shade, which is Mystical, and also pop that on either side, but just a little more focused. Let's see if I put it on my hand. I don't know, I mean, I guess it could be black. I'll have to compare it to other blacks that I have. I'm gonna grab that and just focus it out here. And I'm not gonna blend it out quite as much as I did with the brown. Maybe a little patchy. It can happen with blacks. Like even high-end brand blacks can sometimes just take a little extra work. But there, I put in just a little extra blending and it's just fine. But black is not one of those shades that I feel like you can like quickly blend and it works. It takes a little bit of time. And then kind of connecting those up top. All right, so there is with the black and there is without. So just adding that depth to the look. All right, so I have the mattes all blended out. I'm gonna dip back into the coral and just kind of lay that back down kind of on these edges, just to bring a little more interest to an otherwise neutral look. I feel like my eye looks this week have been very bold. I'm gonna take an empty brush and just kind of buff that out. I feel like I've been going like really close to the brow lately, which normally I do not do. All right, so now the question is, how neutral do I keep the lid? I feel like I've dipped into the really pretty purple a few times. I could go straight up gold for this, but then like opal is still, I don't know that that would go with it. I think what I'm gonna do first is lay down a little bit of glitter primer. I'm just gonna put that on a brush and I'm gonna really concentrate it right in the area where I'm going to pack those shimmers, which is right on the center of the lid. And then I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take Wanderer, which is kind of the greeny gold, and I'm gonna pop that kind of on the edges of that area, leaving just a little space right in the middle. And then I'm gonna pick up the shade Odyssey, which is the gold, and pop that right in the center and just kind of blend that out. So there, that's pretty good. Same thing over on the other side. All right, so there is my halo eye. I know it is not perfect, but I like it. I'm gonna go off camera and do all my face products, and then I'll be back to finish up with the shadow on the lower lash line. Not sure if I'll keep it neutral or add a little pop of color. I'm gonna plug my camera in to charge up, put my face on, and I'll be back. All right, I'm back with all my face products on. I feel like my current lighting is kind of washing me out. It's really bright out this morning. I am pasty, but I feel like I look extra pasty today. It's fine. So I think what I'm going to do on the lower lash line is start with that darkest shade, and I'm just gonna focus that on the outer part of the eye right here and kind of connect it to what's on the lid. I wanna keep the inner part of the eye a little brighter today, so I'm not gonna put this all the way across. So again, just really focusing it on the outer part. Do the same with the other eye. All right, so as you can see, I just really focused that on the outer part, which left the inside kind of clear and free. I think I'm gonna dip into opal for the inner corner. It's very glowy and kind of green, which I did use that greeny gold, so it doesn't like not go with the look. I feel like the vibes of this palette are like kind of ethereal, and I haven't done any ethereal feeling looks. I'm sure I will. I'm gonna dip into the gold, which is Odyssey, and I'm gonna drag that under a little bit. Again, just keeping that front as bright as possible. All right, so that's what we have for the eyes. I'm gonna grab an empty brush again and just kind of buff all around the edges just to soften it up. I feel like I have some like harsh lines out here. I don't like harsh lines, so I'm just gonna buff with an empty brush. I don't know, are they even? I feel like this one has more dark than this one, or is it like close enough? So again, this is a very neutral look for a not very neutral palette, but I do like showing how these palettes can create very everyday wearable looks, because not everyone wants to go like bright and bold like I do most days. So here's just an option for something a little more neutral. I think I'm going to stop there with the shadows. I'm gonna go off camera and put on some liner and mascara. I have a new lip to try, and then I'll be back. All right, I'm back with the final look. I really like this look too. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm really enjoying this palette. This is a beautiful palette. For lips today, I went in, I grabbed one of the new Juvia's Place from their new Nubian Earth collection. So this is kind of a reddy brown. It's the shade Morocco. There are some lighter shades too, some lighter nudes. Juvia's Place is a Black-owned business. A lot of their products are geared towards people with darker skin. Obviously, that's not me, but I do love the products and the quality, and I've been really into like darker grungy lipsticks lately, so this perfectly fit the bill, and I feel like it goes with this look really well. Again, I will probably like wipe it off and put on like a more subtle lipstick for work, because this is a little much walking into an elementary school. So I've now done 3 looks, and I have used 14 out of the 20 shades in this palette. I still need to do like a more minty look, maybe a purple look. My purple look didn't end up as purple as I intended, but there's so many different directions that you can take this palette, so I'm really excited to keep playing around with it. So this video will have 3 looks, but I know that I will be posting more on my Instagram, so pop over there if you want to see more looks with this palette. I feel like this is definitely a palette that could kind of breach spring to summer. Like, it's very springy with some of these soft kind of pastel-y mattes, but as I've seen in the more colorful looks that I've done, it can go really bright and bold as well. This palette is super affordable. It is $25 US, which for a 20 pan colorful palette, you really can't go wrong with that price. If you've grabbed this palette too, I would love to see your looks. So if you could pop your Instagram handle down below, I would love to see what other people are doing with this palette as well. But thank you so much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon.